The first usage of Pi Zero by Biolal. Today I am going to show you that how to use Raspberry Pi Zero for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the big Raspberry Pi family's new child, Pi Zero. The need list. First, Raspberry Pi Zero. It was so hard to find it in Istanbul, but today I have it. Optional 2. HDMI converter connector and HDMI cable. Optional 2. Mini HDMI cable. 3. Voltage source for Pi Zero. See the step 2. 4. A mouse. For installing the operation system and to see the desktop, a mouse will be enough for the first time. For further, you may consider to have a set of mouse and keyboard. 5. OTG cable. If you are lucky, you can find this OTG cable for further tasks. 6. Micro SD card. Class 10 and minimum 4 GB is the preferred reason. 7. SD card reader. 8. Your computer. Step 1. The operating system and SD card processes. Raspbian is used on this instruction. To do that, first, download noobs. Second, on the left, you will see offline and network install. Click on download zip or torrent if you want. 3. When you download the zip file, create an empty folder on your desktop and extract all files into this file and rename it as noobs. 4. Plug in your SD card into card reader, then connect it to your computer. 5. Go to the SD card on the file manager, right click, then format as FAT32. 6. Copy all files from the folder named noobs located on your desktop to your SD card. 7. Eject the SD card from your computer by right click from my computer. 8. Plug in your SD card to Pi Zero. Step 2. How to give an energy to Raspberry Pi Zero. While I am developing on other Raspberry Pi boards like Raspberry Pi 2 Model B version 1.1, I use 5 volts and 2 ampere adapter to give an energy. For Pi Zero, I tried to use this adapter and it's worked fine, but I think 2 ampere is maybe high for Pi Zero. Although it's working very well with 2 ampere, I need to warn you, you can use 5 voltage adapter with micro USB pin, that's okay, but consider the ampere range of your voltage source because you may harm and make your board burn. So you may try to use minimum 700 mA as mentioned on the datasheet of Pi Zero. Here is my advice. For the first time to use, if you feel that you are in stress of the power supply, you can give an energy from your computer's one of the USB ports. I made a test and it's working good from my computer's USB port's energy level. On idle, 65 mA is needed for Pi Zero, the source of this information. On Adafruit's page about Pi Zero, there is no information about the ampere level for Pi Zero. Also none on here on Adafruit Pi Zero PDF. Step 3. How to connect Pi Zero to screen via HDMI cable. There are two options to choose. First, HDMI cable. Second, mini HDMI cable. If you have mini HDMI to HDMI cable, you don't need to use converter connector. If you have HDMI to HDMI cable, you should use mini HDMI to HDMI converter connector. I've got both. Also, both way works. It's up to your choice. By me, if I lost the converter connector, I need to use mini HDMI to HDMI cable to progress. Step 4. First time run. When you are ready, give an energy to Pi Zero and check your screen. I prepared a video about that. Check the subtitles as English soon. Step 5. SD cards used after usage error. When you close Pi Zero and plug out the SD card, connect it to your computer via card reader. You will see that your SD card storage area went down. To make it back, read my instructions about it. Step 6. Bonus. What I think about Pi Zero. I think Raspberry Pi Zero is full of success. Very special thanks are going to the developer team and the producer team. The price is also a perfect point for makers, users, computer world members, and for everyone. I think the dimensions will narrow in the future. We will see tiny boards and they're gonna achieve different tasks easily. On Pi Zero board, the developer team may consider to change the power socket except for using micro female USB. That may be chosen because of micro USB socket's popularity. I mean, in today's world, anyone can easily find micro USB pinned cable, but some people may confuse between OTG pin and other pin in a minute. That may happen if it's the first time to see Pi Zero. If you are not familiar with electronics, you can easily see two micro USB R just for general purpose. The left is for mouse, the right is for the keyboard. But this is untrue. When you cover the Pi Zero, you can't able to see the board directly. So you have got the same micro USB slots. Which one is for power? Think about it and maybe open the plastic cover. That's maybe not a good idea for every time. Why don't we use square board instead of rectangle and even flexible board? Or why can't we bend the board from the middle of to minimize? I think for the further there is no mini HDMI slot. I guess the developer team will use micro HDMI slot to gain more space on the board. I think the developer team will consider to add camera and display slot on the board for next boards. They may be used bottom side of Pi Zero to do that. I think there will be more sensors and connection methods will be used such as Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, XP, GPS. That's all.